This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Chairman of the Police Staff Association, Inspector Dwight Smith, says police officers are still waiting for the government to meet with them to resolve their outstanding issues.
Now, he cited other unions and associations who were having their concerns addressed, while police officers await gratuities and compensation for time worked during the 12-hour shift.
That something is very wrong with that. This is not an attack on the government or anybody. It's just a saying that we are simply human beings. We feel that we play a very important role in this country as police officers. And when there is an issue, we feel that if we encourage persons to actually really sit around the table to discuss their issues instead of taking it onto the street and fighting, we feel then that we ought to have had an opportunity to sit around the table to lay things. We have a lot of stuff. We have police officers who are making $1,500 a month.
Smith also noted that while the cost of living has increased, police officers haven't had salary increases in 11 years.
Can you go and talk to the laundry, the persons that clean the uniforms, because all of a sudden they decide to go sky high up on cleaning uniforms. And I'm an inspector. Our uniform will cost $14 just to clean. And I'm sorry for those persons who are in white. If you have to clean those, and you could only wear white probably once or twice. It all depends where you work. So all these are issues. Whether or not we are hopeful that the government will sit around the table and speak to those, as we've heard.
Former police officer Toni Sweeting finally got her wish today. Justice Bernard Turner granted her $100,000 bail with two sureties. Reporting conditions are also attached, and Sweeting has to surrender her travel documents. Sweeting tried to get bail on numerous occasions but was unsuccessful. But when she appeared before Justice Bernard Turner on December 4th, he told her that if her trial in the magistrate's court was not completed by December 18th, she would get bail. Sweeting, her brother Delano Sweeting, and Jamaica national Conrad Campbell are facing a number of drug-related charges in connection with that cocaine drug bust at the Lyndon Pinling International Airport back in April. Attorney Mario Ducil is defending the pair.
World leader and South African President, the late Nelson Mandela, was honored by parliamentarians at the House of Assembly's final session for 2013. Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, highlighted the Bahamas' role in protesting and making leadership decisions that was instrumental in Mandela being freed from prison. Cyan Thompson tells us that Mitchell also moved a resolution that the people and the representatives of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas express their profound thanks to God for the life of Nelson Mandela, patriot, champion of South Africa, and advocate for freedom around the world.
Minister Mitchell gave the facts on the integral role the Bahamas played in the release of the late Nelson Mandela and his own story of being intertwined in this rich history of freedom and human rights. As an appointee to the Commonwealth Observer Mission to South Africa, Minister Mitchell worked in the African National Congress and with its leader, Nelson Mandela.
I lived in South Africa for 6 weeks from November 1992 and for 4 weeks again as an observer in the spring of 1993. I got to see him up close and personal, as they say, got to see him work, and I was able to do something then which I could never have thought possible when I started out in the anti-apartheid movement in the Bahamas back in 1978, which was to deliver a personal letter to Mr. Mandela from the honorary chair of our committee, the late Beryl Hannah, who was then the wife of the Deputy Prime Minister of the Bahamas.
Mandela remains a beacon of hope to the world and a symbol of freedom. Mitchell says that his life is one that young people today can emulate.
I'm proud to show our young boys today and our young girls today that here is a life now 95 years past, with warts and all, that stands as a shining example for all people, but more particularly for those of African descent. It shows you that you can come from humble circumstances, a shepherd boy, and rise up by dint of hard work, devotion, and providence, and make something of yourself. That is Nelson Mandela, from shepherd boy to president, an international icon.
In commending the life of Nelson Mandela to young Bahamians as an example of never giving up, Mitchell concluded by saying it is never too late to do the right thing, to stand up for the rights of all human beings. For the ZNS Network News, I'm Cyan Thompson.
Coming up, this young man conducts battles several times a day. Find out why he's one of the best. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jimenita Swain. Big savings on the way for the Department of Environmental Health. Minister responsible Kenra Dorset says government is expected to save $500,000 due to a number of cost-saving measures recently implemented. He pointed out that a number of garbage collection contracts have been reassigned. Bahamas Waste currently holds the largest number of outsourced residential customers. Minister Dorset says the contracts are month-to-month and renewable at that frequency. In other business news, operators of Palm Key are pleased with the pace of work unfolding on its latest condominium development, the Anchorage. Director of Sales and Marketing for the $200 million project, Zach Bonzak, says while work is slowing down this holiday season, all elements are full steam ahead and just slightly ahead of target. The 50 units will be built in 4 phases, with the first 12 expected to be completed by mid-January. And in international business news, some bad news for customers shopping online caught up in a hacking attack on Target. Reuters is reporting hackers might have stolen data from 40 million credit and debit card shoppers who made purchases during the first 3 weeks of the holiday season. This is the second largest breach reported by a U.S. retailer. Officials say it's unprecedented the speed at which the hackers were able to access large numbers of credit cards during the data theft. It took place in the 19 days from the day before Thanksgiving to Sunday, in the heart of the crucial Christmas holiday sales season. Target, the number 3 U.S. retailer, said today it was working with federal law enforcement and outside experts to prevent similar attacks in the future. It did not disclose how its systems were compromised. That was your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jimenita Swain.